It's the War Pod. Welcome to the Luton Ladies Lowdown. I'm your host, Matt. With me tonight is my co-host, Owen, who heads up all of the social media for the club. How you getting on, Owen?
Yeah, I'm getting on well. Looking forward to get started.
Yeah?
Should be a promising season on the pitch.
Yeah, we've got some good fixtures coming up and hopefully a good cup run going again. That'd be nice. But before we start, make sure that you smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want more content like this. And also, firstly, I'd just like to give a thanks to our audio partners, Black Star and Carry On. They provided us with all these fancy toys like this microphone and headphones, and they'll be helping us to level up the podcast this season. Also, big thanks to our sponsor, The Record Shop in Amersham. It's a great place to find new music or a new vinyl, as well as CDs and musical instruments. Be sure to check them out if you're in Amersham. Okay, the podcast this season is going to be incredible. We are going to have unprecedented access to the club, including the players, the coaches, the chairman, and they'll all be making appearances throughout the season. And obviously, we've got Owen with us, who is the social media manager. I say it like that because he does the social media. Don't know if he's got the official title yet, but yeah, we're going to have a lot of access to a lot of people, and it's going to be brilliant. Really looking forward to it. So let's briefly run through the key individuals at the club. I'll pause after each one. Owen can give us a bit of an extra briefing if he knows anything about them or anything fun. So we've got Mark Wareham, who is current chairman of Luton Town Ladies FC. So obviously we had Mark on before, onto the Walk Pod. Great guy. He's very welcoming to us at the end of season presentation as well. I believe you've only met him once so far, Owen. Is that correct?
Yeah. Haven't met him a lot, yeah.
Okay, no worries. Next up, we've got Miles and Faddy, who are the joint managers of Luton Town Ladies.
Yeah. They're both great guys, so they're both very positive in what they do, and that's obviously reflects on the squad. So hopefully, it reflects on a positive season as well.
Yeah, definitely. They're both really nice guys. Again, we've had Miles on the main pod before, but Faddy was the first time meeting him at the end of season presentation. Absolutely lovely guy, like really, really welcoming, really eager to talk to us. Yeah, both really nice. And next up we have Danny, Mike, and Francis, who are the coaches.
Yeah, Micah and Francis came in towards the end of last season. They've been involved in the squad a lot, and Danny is a coach with the goalkeepers, a goalkeeper coach.
Nice. Okay, good to know. And then new this season is Ellie Wade, who is the captain.
Yeah, well, big boots to fill. Obviously, with Jess McKay leaving at the beginning of this season, been here for over 15 years, been a captain for numerous years. But yeah, obviously Ellie helps out the social media as well, so I know her quite well, and I'm sure she'll be perfectly fine taking over from Jess.
Definitely, yeah, definitely agree. Big boots to fill. Jess was a big part of the club, obviously top goal scorer for the last 2 seasons as well. Numerous awards at the end of season presentation, so she'll be sorely missed. But Ellie as well also won a number of awards, so I don't think it'll be too much of a struggle for her to do that. So each week we will be talking about the game that's happened that week, along with any cup fixtures or any other news relating to the club. And a special bit of news. So Ellie Wade and teen sensation Kira Palmero are 2 of the players that we will have opted to sponsor as a result of the generous donations from you, the supporters of Luton Town. So that's just an absolutely fantastic thing that we were able to do for the Luton Town ladies. And I'm sure that they're going to be grateful that we did that for them.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of money that was raised very quickly. And the girls deserve it, obviously not paying to play unless they get sponsored. So that's 2 players that have got a good sponsor now. So, and it's obviously publicity for
it's good.
Walt as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. It's a deal that we're happy that we're able to do something like that for the club, and obviously even more special now that Ellie is the captain. Like, yeah, it's just a brilliant thing in my opinion. All right, let's have a look at how the pre-season went, because I believe we have now finished the pre-season, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, so we had 3 fixtures that were taken First one was Luton versus Colney Heath, and that was a 4-1 victory for Luton. Owen, how was that game?
I wasn't actually at that game, but obviously speaking to people at the club, it was a good performance against lower league opposition, but 4-1, you can never complain. Scoring 4 goals in the first game of the season, can't complain.
Definitely not. And then after that, we took a trip up the M1 to Northampton, and it was Northampton versus Luton, and that was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, well, we was very unlucky for it to finish 1-1. Obviously, Northampton being a Tier 4 team, were expected to win. We probably came out with them, went 1-0 up. Was unfortunate to concede the equaliser when we had 10 players on the pitch, but it was a really positive performance, and if that's anything to go by, then again the season should be good.
Yeah, definitely. If obviously the team are able to perform at that level, even with a player down in the 4th tier, the tier above the 5th tier that they're in currently, that just kind of goes to show. And it also goes to show, obviously, seasons leading up to now have always been a progressive position going up again, like last 2 seasons finishing in 2nd. So yeah, it looks like promotion is on the cards. We have our fingers crossed. And finally, it was I think an arranged fixture that was arranged after somebody else fell out. It was Brentford versus Luton, and that was unfortunately
unfortunately a 3-1 loss, but again we had a lot of players missing. There was a couple reserve players involved, which was good for them to get some time, obviously to spend like a match day with the first team players as well.
Definitely.
We had a couple players coming back from holiday.
Sure.
And then obviously others missing through holiday injuries and other reasons as well.
Sure. What tier are Brentford in, do you know?
Tier 16.
Okay, tier 6. No worries. Yeah, unfortunate to have lost that, but obviously, as you say, there were reasons that happened. And also, it's a pre-season game, so we don't need to worry too much about it. And then there were the additional 2 games that unfortunately have fallen through, and that was against Haywards Heath and Ashford. So as of recording today, the pre-season has finished. So the first fixture is going to be against Royston Town FC Women. So a bit of context for you on this one. Last season, they won 13 games, they drew 4, and they lost 5. And last season, Luton had a loss and a draw against them. How are you seeing this fixture going, Owen?
Well, hopefully a win, but Royston are a very strong team. Like you said, last season they beat us 2-0 as towards the back end of our season. But we were sort of in the title race, but it was like in a period where everyone knew Real Bedford were going to win it, basically. And we had Leah Maddox played in goal for the last 20 minutes of that match. We had an injury to our goalkeeper, and we only had one keeper in the squad. So, but yeah, and they drew obviously when we played them at Barton as well. So they're a strong team, and it's going to be a very tough start.
Of course.
But if we want to get promoted, then we're going to have to beat the tough teams.
Yeah, definitely. That's where you get the points, isn't it? Against the tougher teams. You can get points with the easier teams, but if you're able to get the points from the tougher teams, that's just so much more valuable. And then the first cup fixture, that is against Chigwell Ladies, who are in Tier 7 of the pyramid. How do you think that one's going to go? We're going to get as far as we were able to last time in the FA Cup?
Well, that would be nice to play against a Women's Super League team again. But you never know. I couldn't tell you too much about Chigwell Ladies. Not going to pretend that I know, like I'm an expert on them. But yeah, Tier 7. On paper, we should win, but
yeah,
you never know. FA Cup is unpredictable.
They're unpredictable, and the results are decided on the pitch rather than by looking at stats. Okay, perfect. So let's have a quick look at the departures first. So from the squad, we have unfortunately lost Jess McKay, who was the top goal scorer, former captain at the club for 15 years. Owen, you got any other things to say about her?
Well, yeah, it's a massive loss. Someone who's been around the club for so long. They understand Luton. They understand the way that she understands the way the managers want her to play. And she's a massive loss, not only on the pitch, but off it as well. But yeah, like I said, you've got Ellie, who now takes over from the captain. She's very similar to Jess in a sort of way, not as in like a player way, but more of her person. Like how she is as a person, they're very similar. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Well, obviously it's a big loss, but we've got the players there to make up for it.
Yeah, definitely. The next person is Amy Butler, who was the former number one goalkeeper. She has moved on now as well.
Yeah, she retired at the end of last season. She's now got a coaching role at Biggleswade. And yeah, she was a great goalkeeper. Obviously, she went kind of viral on Luton Twitter in January when she made that save against Brighton.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I remember seeing that when I was at that game, so it was a great thing to see. Yeah, definitely. Next up, we have Amber Pearson as well.
Yeah, she's joined Jess at Northampton. Again, another important player in the midfield. But the midfield's an area where we've got a lot of players who can step in and perform just as well as Amber and Jess. Hopefully better, but time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. And the final one is Lil Sanders.
Yeah, again, another important player in the squad. We think we're lucky enough to have a decent amount of forward options where, although she scored a lot of goals, the goals are there to be. Her goals will be missed, but we've got the players in there to make up for them.
And that leads us nicely on to the new signings that we have had announced so far. So I'll start off with the big one. That is Tash Fensom, who has come from, just as a quick side note, all of these players have come from Real Bedford, just so you know. But yeah, Tash Fensom from Real Bedford. Obviously, if you want to see a quick interview with her, do check out the Luton Town Ladies Instagram and Twitter. There is a nice little interview with her on there. She was the top scorer for Real Bedford last season with 33 goals. Now that is
not bad.
Quite a number.
Well, yeah, it is. A player who scores that many goals is always going to be a massive signing. She scored against Brentford at the weekend. She scored a really good header just before the half-time. So
already got one under her belt already. Wow. Okay, so hopefully big things to come from her. Next we have Francesca, I believe she goes by Cheska Partridge. And she's another striker who scored 23 goals last season at Real Bedford. And then obviously, as we've said, losing Jess McKay and Amber Pearson, their goals. Hopefully, with the signings of Tash and Seska, should cover that gap effectively. That's the hope. And next we have Eleanor Townsend, again from Real Bedford.
Yeah, again, she's another really good player. Like I said, anyone you sign from Real Bedford is going to be a really good player. So you can't complain at all. The more you get from Real Bedford, the better.
Finally, the last player who is also from Real Bedford is Sarah Hudson. I believe she'll be coming in potentially as the number one.
Yeah. I think she'll be the number one. She'll have competition, obviously, from Leah, who's already at the club, and then potentially anyone who comes in as well. I remember her last season. I played against her a couple times and remembering like she's really loud, she's really vocal in the box, and that's what you need. You need a keeper who's not afraid to let themselves be heard and put themselves out there.
That's definitely something I remember from Amy. She had a good pair of lungs on her when she was shouting to all the players in defence. Okay, so I believe there potentially may be a few more signings to come through, but obviously all of that's being dealt with in the background, so we don't want to speculate on that too much. And the next piece is players to watch out for in this upcoming season. Owen, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, well, we've gone for two each, and I've picked out two midfielders. I went for Amber Leighton and Cheyenne Suarez. They're both similar players in a way, especially I just start off with Cheyenne. She can pick out a pass from anywhere really. So you've got goals, you've got creativity in midfield, you've got goals in midfield, you've got solid defensive players in midfield. And then Amber, she's very good at picking up the ball. She's very good at passing, and so she's got everything you need for a midfielder.
Perfect. That sounds exactly what you want. Someone who can feed the balls through to these brand new strikers as well. That's exactly what you need, isn't it? And then my two picks were Tash Fensom. Obviously, 33 goals last season. There's going to be something there, something to watch out for. So very excited to see her. And my other player to watch for this upcoming season is Ellie Wade herself. Obviously, she's coming into the position of the captain after Jess. I think she's going to do an absolutely fantastic job. She's, from the games I've seen, she's absolutely bossed the defence, and she's been brilliant getting the ball, defending the ball, passing the ball out. I feel like she's got true fighting spirit. So I think it's going to be a perfect fit for that position. That is actually it for us this week. It's just an introduction episode. Let you know what's going to be happening. We'll move on in future episodes, get players in, coaches, managers, etc. But that's all for this week. If you enjoyed this content, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, big thank you to our audio partners, Black Star Amplification and Carry On, for making the podcast sound great. Also, big thank you to our sponsors, The Record Shop in Amersham. Come on, you Hatters.